Good morning. This is Mark Harrison with Sewer Line Check Professionals. I am here at 5310 Irvine Avenue in Valley Village, and I'm preparing to perform a video examination of the main sewer line system here on the property. Now, the main sewer line system is the portion of the waste drainage piping that is exterior to the structures. It lies underground and connects the building drain line systems to the public sewer. The building drain line systems then are the portions of the waste drainage piping that would be underneath or interior to the structures. Our examination today is not focused on the building drain line systems, so if further evaluation is desired regarding the building drain line systems, a licensed plumbing contractor should be contacted, or a specialty building drain line video examination can be set up through our office. So I'm going to be performing today's examination from a two-way cleanout access we've found here at the back of the structure, just inside the sub-area access. As you come out from the rear porch landing here. And they've installed this on the line coming in from the guest house that ties into this building drain. Now, I don't know if you can see it here, but this pipe is coming uphill before it connects up to that coupling and starts to drain again. So we've got a situation here. We're going to push backwards first, and you'll see that this line is mostly full of water. Here we're just pushing back underwater. It's got a good 2.5 inches at the deepest point, and this is a 3-inch pipe, so it's pretty much full. And this is kind of typical when you have an on-grade structure that was added later and you're trying to connect up to a raised foundation where the pipes are actually above grade. I was looking up into the bottom of that toilet in there, so we pushed back as far as we can there. So we'll turn around now and we'll push out underneath the house and get outside to the primary main sewer line right at the front of this main house, and then all the way out to the public sewer. So much of the drain system here under the house has been upgraded, at least much of what we're going to be pushing through. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, that the building drain system is not the focus of today's examination, but since I'm pushing through it, I'll comment on its condition. Some of those conditions do tie in with the main sewer line condition and kind of what our overall recommendation is going to be. Alright, so here about 43 feet in, we're going to make a slight turn to the left. We're basically just going to jog over a couple of feet, and then turn back to the right to run out onto the front porch into the front yard. And this is where we're connecting up to an older cast iron piping. Now, this cast iron pipe does run under the porch, so it makes it more difficult to upgrade, which is probably part of the reason why that was not done with the rest of it. But this cast iron drain extends pretty far out into the front yard. Now, these cast iron pipe materials typically were expected to last somewhere in the 70-year range or so. I don't know exactly what year the house was built, but you can see here it's got significant rust and scale buildup, and I would say is considered near the end of its useful service life, though it does appear to be functioning. One of the things I look for in these older cast iron pipes when I am running the camera through, I'll run water, and if the water stays pretty clean, like it is doing here, then it does generally look like it's got a little bit of life left. When it's very dirty and you can't see anything is when it's really at the end of the life. But in a case like this, there's no real advantage to leaving it in service, especially if we're going to be recommending some changes to the system. Alright, so here, 63 feet out from where we dropped in, and about probably 10 to 15 feet out into the yard, just under the edge of the little brick landing or patio area that's out there, out in front of the front porch, is where we're changing to a vitrified clay piping. And this is the 4-inch clay that's going to continue out under the front yard and then drop down at the front of the yard to connect up to the 6-inch clay that runs out to the public sewer near the middle of the street. And as soon as we get out to the first connection or joint here, we do have some significant root intrusions. And also, if you look closely, the lighter color you see there, closest to the camera, kind of off to the lower right, is the joint. And then just beyond that, you see another section. That's actually a pretty, moderate crack in that pipe, and there's roots coming through that crack. So this is going to continue to get worse. This is something that's significant enough that we would dictate repair and make that recommendation. A little bit of debris build up through there, and then beyond that, we're back into the clay pipe. Now here at this next joint, we've got another crack that's kind of followed around the circumference of the pipe. Coming back up towards the bottom, you can see a little bit of root intrusion starting to come through that crack. So this is an area too that's got some stress and is probably going to get worse. And then out here we're right at where we're going to make our vertical drop here at the front of the property. And again, I see more cracking in this fitting. This is an elbow fitting, probably a 90 that makes that turn downwards. So that's been cracked as well. Alright, so now we're dropping essentially vertically here, very close to it, straight down into the top of the 6-inch pipe that's going to continue us out to the public sewer near the middle of the street. Now this 6-inch portion is also a clay pipe, and I don't know if I mentioned, but these clay pipes, they do have a long service life expectancy. Being a natural material, they're not expected to deteriorate underground, but they can be brittle in nature and do have a higher potential for damage during seismic activity or earthquakes. The 6-inch line here under the street looks pretty clean. More roots in this section of the system. And then here we're going to kind of drop down and turn to the left to connect up to our public sewer. Here, 113 feet more we dropped in. Okay, so we've got several conditions here in the line, starting from the guest house up to under the house and front porch. A couple of cracks of varying degrees in the pipe under the front yard. Really the best thing to solve all of the issues here with this system and make sure everything is draining properly. I think the best solution would be actually to put a new line in from the guest house all the way out into the front yard where it makes that drop, and then reroute the building drain system out the side to drop right into that single primary line. That is a solution that could probably get the proper fall all the way out. It would potentially eliminate the old cast iron and the old clay that's got the stress cracking, and in the long run would probably be the best and most cost-effective solution. And that would avoid any need for ejection systems for the guest house and that kind of thing. So that's what I'm going to recommend. We certainly should discuss any options or all options with a qualified and reputable sewer contractor. See if there's any other ideas and things that might be able to be come up with, but that does seem to be the best and most obvious solution. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video portion of the examination for today. Please do refer to the written report for a description of the final findings and recommendations, as well as the suggestions here for potential upgrades to the line. This is Mark Harrison with Sewer Line Check Professionals. Thank you very much and have a pleasant day.